Hello.
Oh, double mute. Always double mute. What's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Hello there.
Victor on the community call.
It happens sometimes.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it does. Hey, lots of friendly faces from Paris. How y'all doing?
Love
All
it.
good.
Hey,
Trickling in as we do with the running from remote meeting to remote meeting.
Thought everyone was going to be on vacation.
I think everybody deserves a vacation that was in Paris, so we should have made that a rule.
is that what you call a vacation?
No, after Paris is
Ah.
the vacation need.
Vacation and a new liver, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you're already organizing the next big thing, right, Abby? You're having a
next big thing?
the platform user group meeting
Low
in
pug,
London.
yeah. London thankfully I don't have to. I'm showing up because silly Mauricio had to go off and do more interesting things. But my colleague does the heavy lifting on the organizing for that. So
Okay.
but I'm somehow
was-
gonna have to replicate Whitney's energy as a solo act, which I don't think is physically possible. So we'll see how it all goes.
I was already wondering where you get the energy from that. Huge respect.
All right, we'll give another minute to let people trickle in, but for those that are interested, we keep our rolling notes in this doc here. If you haven't been in there, you can add yourself to the attendees if you want, or else I'll probably clean up and behind everyone and make sure we get everyone listed. And if you have anything that you want to talk about today that isn't already on the list, feel free to add to the agenda and notes. Those are just our sort of rolling as we go information. So I always like the racing for a new line before someone else takes it as everyone tries to get their names into the
I just like seeing all the anonymous animals jumping back and forth.
exactly.
Does anyone remember trying to use Confluence to do daily stand-up notes?
Hmm.
Horror.
As the saying goes, Confluence is the place stuff goes to die.
Mm-hmm.
docs, wikis, or Confluence. I feel like
Are you-
I feel like Atlassian gets so much crap from just having popular products that, like, ticketing systems, everyone's like, oh, Jira. It's like, well, it's actually just all ticketing systems, isn't it?
Like if you don't care about a tool and cater it, then it's going to be crappy no matter what.
Yeah, it's kind of how that works.
Yeah, Atlassian's doing some cool stuff lately.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like,
they're
what if-
they're actually coming out with some decent tools to kind of tie all the different things together. Like I think one thing that's coming right now is a GitHub issue sync, like an official one, which would be incredible, finally. But
Nice.
they don't do a good
The-
job of publicizing what's coming.
When they bought this automation engine, that was a really good step as well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I know that at least a few people are going to be running a few minutes behind, and that's okay. But we can kick off. As you all have been alerted, this is all recorded. We will get this up onto YouTube. There's been a slight delay on that recently, but that's okay. We will get that there. So for anyone who wants to catch up, that is fine. But usually what we start with is allowing for introductions of people. So what you'll find is a lot of faces stay familiar throughout time. And so we just sort of open the floor if anyone wants to do sort of a 1-minute intro, particularly who you are and why you joined the group or what you're excited to do within the group is usually really helpful. And that helps people who've been around for a while identify how to pull you into things you might be interested in. So would anyone like to introduce themselves to get us started?
I can start if nobody else wants to do it. So I'm Stéphane Di Cesare. So I'm a French guy based in Munich since a long time ago. I work for DKB, who is a German online bank. And I'm working in a platform and for the so-called platform experience team, which is tasked with being the communication between the platform team and the various stakeholders. And I was at KubeCon last week, so I worked on a platform architecture before and realized that there are many similar works going on. So that was quite interesting to share. And that's my main focus for the moment, to have a good way to define the platform, to have basically a good information structure of everything there is on the platform, so that all the stakeholders have the same view of what we actually offer.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Who else wants to say hi?
I can.
I can.
Ah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, please,
just go.
Stefan.
Okay,
Okay.
Stefan's sitting in Denmark working for something called Shifted Nordic Marketplaces. So we run marketplaces website, see it as eBay in the Nordics, more or less. And we're sort of like pivoting in from 4 countries with each their own infrastructure and setups into one united platform. We'll reach the platform point at some point. And Abby told me last week that I was forced into this, so I didn't have a choice. No, I really liked meeting up with a lot of familiar faces here last week in Paris and having some really good discussions. So it seemed like a natural pivot to jump in and join you guys here.
Okay. Hi. Sorry, I'm not sure about the audio because I'm in the underground at this moment. I'm Mitch. 3 years ago, I left my job as a deputy CEO in a fintech company, for start to do all the stuff like advocacy about developer experience and stuff. And I'm joining Mia Platform. Maybe you know it's a company that makes a product around the platform engineering field. And yeah, I love this kind of methodology, and I want to contribute by myself for improve, let me say, the ecosystem with my knowledge, and also, of course, learn from you and improve together. Yeah, I'm a speaker in Italy. I do a lot of events around this topic. Yeah, I'm a community person. I like to talk with people and know your stuff. And yeah, I'm here for this reason and for the help, of course. That's
Then
it.
you found the right community then, I think. If you like getting involved in all those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I managed also the community for Google for 2 years, from 2015 to 2017, like the GDG, maybe you know Google Developers Group, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Yes.
I
Yeah,
could go
William, go
next.
for it.
I mean,
Oh.
sure, I could. Oh,
Go for it.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'm William. William Ritzer. I joined a little bit late in the working group, or maybe early. I don't know. I'm based in the Netherlands. I'm a lead architect at SUSE, and I'm doing some work on the platform engineering maturity model to translate it, and I would like also to write some blogs to extend it somehow. I still don't know what's the idea. It was very nice to meet many of you. It's nice to see again the faces from last week. So that's it, I guess. Oh, and I'm outdoor, so I don't know if my audio is coming through. I'm at the swimming pool of my kid, so I'm outside.
Not you.
Yeah, I can go next. Thank you. So yeah, I'm Mathieu Benoit, originally from France, now living in Eastern Canada, Quebec City. I just came back from KubeCon, where I met a lot of you all and other people. I have been following this working group for a while now. And I think you're doing an amazing job of inclusiveness and making the community contributing. So I want to be part of that as a member. I don't know, and I don't want to commit myself too much on what I could provide. I want to start with a French translation of the glossary, maybe at some point very soon. Yeah, I'm Clone Native ambassador, and I'm working also for Humanitech. So all about platform engineering is very something I really love and I'm passionate about. I'm a developer in my background. I graduated as developer, and I have been dealing with Kubernetes a lot since then, the hard way. And I think platform engineering is answering some great stuff. So happy to be involved and seeing what this working group is doing. Thank you for all what you do and what you did at KubeCon. Amazing. I blogged recently about that. So yeah, happy to be part of that.
Hi, I think I can go next. I'm Ali. I'm originally from Turkey, but I'm living in Germany, Berlin. I'm working as a freelancer platform engineer, cloud infrastructure engineer. Currently, my last company, working with the Kest AI in the Kubernetes business. I was this working group, one of the working groups I always in my wish list, but I had all other excuses to not join. But Abby convinced me in the Paris KubeCon to join more. So I'm here to discover more.
That's great.
Hi, I can go next. Hello, guys. Nice to meet you. I'm Hiroshi, working from Japan. And I am a platform engineer working for LY Corporation. LY Corporation is a company formed from the merger of LINE and Yahoo Japan, and it's one of the largest internet company in Japan. And I have more than 15 years of experience in the IT industry. And me and my team's mission is building and maintaining a platform as a service for in-house application developers. And we built it using Kubernetes and a bunch of custom controllers on top of the Kubernetes cluster. And at the tag, I'm assisting with the translation of the website. And I realized that we have several items on the agenda related to it today. Thanks for someone picked the topic. And anyway, papers of platforms on our website has garnered attention from Japanese engineers, and I would like to translate it to reach more Japanese folks. Of course, I hope to contribute from the perspective of platform engineering itself that I am working in my job. And finally, I couldn't attend the KubeCon Europe last week, but Cube Day will be held in Japan this summer. If anyone is coming to Japan and attending, I would love to meet up, and I'm glad to help make your trip in Japan enjoyable. Thanks. I'm very good to be here.
Yes, I think you're too humble about all the hard work you put into the translations. It's been really good. So thank you for that. And as you say, you have lots to give, not just translation. So very excited to have you here. So
yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome.
we missing it? Does anyone else want to intro? This is
I'll
always
go.
just to be clear, this is always our busiest time is the directly following KubeCon, and I think it's always worth the time of letting people share their stories and intro. So please don't worry about time. We'll figure that out. Yeah, feel free to intro yourself.
Hi, I'm Hubbard Smith. I'm in Salt Lake City in the United States. I'm a startup founder. We're using Kubernetes and specifically KubeVirt for a highly secure data science environment. So it's great to be here with you all. Say
coming
what?
To you. I said we're coming to you in a few months, aren't we? KubeCon North
I think
America
so.
is coming to your hometown.
I think so. Yeah, there's some sort of little organization down in Provo. Who knows?
Cool.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for all your hard work. Look forward to working with you. And in addition to founding a company, I do write code. I write code every day. So I'm with you. You're my people.
Oh, Dylan, I think you might be double mute.
Hi, so maybe I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Alexander Block. I'm a consultant and freelancer, working mostly on Kubernetes and platform stuff. And I'm the maintainer of ClueCTL, a deployment and GitOps tool that I'm working on. Just wanted to say hi and see what's happening here.
All right, round two. Everyone can hear me now?
Gotcha.
Hey everyone, I'm Dylan Page. I'm a senior DevOps engineer at Lambda Labs, previously at Autodesk and DigitalOcean. I've been in the tag app delivery meetings for a while, but met a bunch of you nice folks at KubeCon for the platform working group, so there's a lot of overlap there. Currently possibly started up a new working group for app delivery for infrastructure provisioning, so we're doing some exploratory with that, so I figured it's very closely aligned with platform, so it makes sense to kind of come and hang out and talk with you all and see how things go. I'm also a maintainer for an open source project called Atlantis, which drove much of this need for helping with working groups and the tags. So happy to be here and happy to contribute.
That round us out. Anyone left that wants to say a quick hello?
Okay, I think I can go next. My name is Rie. I'm based in Spain and I've been in the last KubeCon last week. I'm working as a DevOps engineer in BBNK, which is a fintech, and I'm trying to embrace the platform engineering company. So willing to learn from all of you and try to contribute if it's possible.
Cool. Awesome. Well, welcome to all the new faces. As I said, this is always one of our heavier intros post KubeCon because we always pick up new friends at KubeCon, which is great. So I think what I hope is visible from the different intros is that this is a coming together of people from different backgrounds. So platforms but don't make money off of platforms, as well as bad internet.
Yeah, you froze for a moment.
You're back.
I'm back. Okay. So a combination of that what the CNCF calls end users, consultants and contractors, so people who help with building these things for other people, but it's part of their job to build platforms professionally, and across organizations and across industries, and then vendors, so people who help build the tools and maintain the tools that are used. So the big thing here for this group is around that coming together and making sure there's a balance between those three and making sure we find ways to support everybody. And particularly at the end of the day, making sure that companies that depend on platforms, so those end users, are successful. That's what we're here to do. So I've added tag updates to the agenda and notes. I think it's worth calling out just because thank you for the call out of the new working groups. So the tag app delivery is expanding very excitingly into up to two new working groups. One around app delivery, app development. So this is like App Developer Day and Con that has been a Colo now, very, very popular co-located event for a couple of KubeCons. So this is really around software development as a part of the beginning of that app delivery journey. And then also there's a look at infrastructure in particular, right? So platforms might work as the interface and collection and discoverable place to get access to infrastructure, but what is the actual infrastructure under the scenes? So what tools you use for that? So these are both in discovery mode. If those are areas you either are excited to see become working groups or feel like should not be standalone working groups and you feel like should be folded in elsewhere, or anything in between, go check out the issues on GitHub. We'll try and pull those in if anybody, yes, involved in that, and highly encourage it. I think all the working groups, we often find people across working groups. So there's no ownership here of or tribalness of one working group or bust kind of thing. The other thing about the tag is one of the outcomes of the tag meeting in Paris, tag leadership meeting, is that we're trying to get more communication across working groups. So as of now, it's a little bit ad hoc and each working group is sort of on their own. And so I'm very, very happy to say that Robert has agreed to take on the additional responsibility of being the platforms working group tech lead is the term, which basically means that he's going to be the liaison to the tag and to the other working groups to make sure that we are leveraging the power of the different groups rather than working sort of in silos and not getting that benefit. So yeah, thank you, Robert. I don't think you have any more information than that at this point. Was there anything else you want to say?
No, it's just like I keep saying yes to stuff, but you know, it's all in the same domain, so hopefully that works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So so if anybody else I know there's some people here who've worked along with some of the other, it was mentioned working up at the tag level, also at other working groups. So I see some people who've worked with the API working group and so on. If you ever find that you want more visibility or more collaboration across working groups within the tag or more support from the higher level tag, Robert's your guy, with a backup policy of the rest of the leadership team, which is Collins here, myself, and Josh Gavant, who wasn't able to make it today. So yes. Any questions in regards to the working group and the tag and that kind of thing from anybody? Cool. So just shout if there are any, but that's a big thing. So I think it's worth taking a few minutes then to say KubeCon wrap up and recap. So I think there were a lot of initiatives that we tried for at KubeCon. So we put into place the morning coffees. We put into place the dedicated time at the tag booth associated with our working group. And we put into place in a push for more interviews from end user companies towards the platform as a product work. And I'm curious how people feel like those went, what we could do, what we could learn for the next time. Yeah, a little bit of a wash up on that if anyone has any ideas.
Well, marketing, I'd say, right? We had the presence there was good in terms of the lightning talks and people at the booth, of which I was one, but we didn't seem to get a whole lot of awareness of the fact that we were talking about one of the most popular topics at the whole conference. So, yeah, that would be something I'd say for next time. Also, the coffees were really successful, but I don't think a lot of people knew about them. You know, they maybe there's a format within the conference itself somehow that would allow it to be larger. I think you could, you know, if you again marketed it properly, you could get like an unconference type thing going, because, you know, a lean coffee won't scale to, you know, beyond 20, 30 people. So I think that would be pretty neat for next one. And I saw there was an on-conference area. It felt like it was difficult to understand what was going on at the conference in general. And therefore, you know, discoverability was a problem.
It gets kind of difficult to get those kind of you know, things out there, because we spam it. We put it into Slack, we put it into a lot of these things, but there were 12,000 people in Paris. We are 591 people in Slack channel. So, you know, it's not like we're reaching everyone. Not sure if it's possible to put it into the schedule thing. I know that it before going over to Sessionize, that was possible. So I don't know, but you probably could add something that would kind
The
of
other
point
thing
the
I'd say
flag
is
to that.
Sked
Yeah.
was an abomination.
It was?
It was horrible. I mean, it was just there was so much so difficult to find things, and the inconsistency between what the app was showing and the web page was showing. It was really, you know, it was an information management nightmare to kind of figure out what was going on when, and figure out a schedule and that sort of thing. I didn't even try to go to any but one of the talks during the main conference, and just even like platform day versus other co-located events was pretty tough.
William.
Yeah, I'm with David with the coffees. They were very valuable for me, at least. Just one thought. I think it was good that it was small, to see also how it went, the reaction, the engagement. Maybe let's say that it wasn't much known because it was announced very late in the Slack channel, which again I think it wasn't such a bad idea to announce it late, to see how it went, how it would go. Maybe for next one, if the desire is to do something bigger, then there has to be a little bit of research to see if there is a venue that would host the you know, the lean coffee, or if the venue or if we can do it in the venue. Makes sense. Either way makes sense. Maybe less of a problem to do in the venue. Maybe, I don't know. Nah, but I like the format a lot, and yeah.
Yeah, I think the point you made about the ahead of time, I'm just gonna tag you, Robert. We've been talking about trying to create a reproducible schedule ahead of KubeCon. So like X number of weeks out, do this. Y number of weeks out, do that. And
Yeah.
that was a goal coming off of Chicago that did not get done for Paris. But maybe I'll tag you, and that's the kind of thing to bring up to the tag level and see if we can build that. So Dominic, I think you're next.
Yeah, I also think we didn't really leverage the flyer that we created. A lot of work went into that, and I think like Atul did such a great job in the design, and I really wanted to use it, but somehow I really didn't manage to do anything with it. I sent it to some people afterwards through LinkedIn, but I don't think that's the right format for it. So I think we had a really nice tool there, but at least I couldn't really use it on KubeCon. I don't know if there's different experiences with it, which is a bit sad. Yeah.
Probably timelines oriented as well. Like it came out only the week before, and so I think it's a really good shout. And yeah.
those are the things that kind of fall, you know, between chairs and cracks and everything. It can fall in between, because, you know, we're doing a lot of these things just not randomly. Like a lot of these things have been talked about for ages, but we don't have any set schedule for anything. So I think that is also something that can be solved by having something a little more, you know, repeatable for all these. Yeah, Matteo.
Yeah, I think it was a really great experience for the people like me who participated. I did 3 sessions over 3 breakfasts over the 4. What could be the issue is a time, like 7 a.m. Kind of. It's early because it's very exhausted being in such conference, right? We were all over the places during the day, during the morning, during the night. And I invited a lot of people and they were like enthusiastic about the idea. But later in the day, they were like, oh yeah, it was too early. But here, I don't have any solution for that because the schedule is very pretty packed, right? If you want your own experience at KubeCon, you are all over the places, but you need to decide last minute where you want to go and not, and maybe sleeping a bit. So it's just a feedback, but at the end of the day, I don't have any solution on that. I think it was really great, and I made myself the effort to wake up early for joining such great discussion, right? And I think the app delivery blog post where all was written beforehand was really great. I was able to schedule my stuff myself accordingly. And I didn't see that at Chicago, to be honest. So I think for Salt Lake City, continuing on that and marketing on top of that would be great. But again, it was a great experience for me for the first time on such initiative.
And we need a follow-up to that blog post with the actual links of the conferences.
Which I think Mark. So many faces. I will find the Google Doc and share it. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hey. Or I cut out. One of us cut out. I think you're saying the recap post that I started. Yeah, it's in the notes for today, in the agenda for today. It's there's a link there.
Amazing, and that's the bottom link. Okay, cool.
Yep, the bottom link. That's Nikki Watts's talk. Thanks. Was it Antoine who shared that in the Slack? I loved it. I thought it was great, and we should definitely raise awareness of it. It's a nice complement to the maturity model, putting it into practice, and I thought it was a great talk.
Cool. So that is, to be fair, that was slightly different than I think what Matteo, what you were suggesting, which is around like a more generic follow-up to, hey, we did all these things and this is what we learned and so forth. So both suggest that people, the PTAL, please take a look. Please do take a look at the blog Marsh did, which is more specifically focused on a example of the use of the maturity model, which we would love to get a blog post out about. But then also I would highly recommend, if someone has an interest in writing a blog post as a wrap up of platform engineering at KubeCon, like I know I've seen some of you do this as a part of your day jobs, like figuring out a way to do that, maybe just reposting it, but maybe something that's more wider tag focused. I don't know. Yeah, please. I'm definitely a big fan of encouraging more blog posts. We're trying to encourage the blog post as a lower barrier of entry of delivery of ideas, so that we can start to generate buzz and alignment between people that can then get together and maybe do more formal writing over and above the top of blog posts. So blogs can be short, sweet, and interest grabbing. And then we can think about if that has enough interest to generate a white paper or a more formal writing of some sort. Yeah, Marsh.
Yeah, just to add on to what I was saying, like my goal with the blog post was that this is the video, the talk video is excellent, really complements what we're doing nicely. And so the point of this blog post might be different from others in the future. This is about raising awareness of someone else's work in the space. And I'm not precious about it in any way. If you see with things that aren't working for you, you have feedback on it, I want to hear it. Happy to scratch it and start over. My whole point was to just try to get things moving quickly.
Absolutely.
So, please jump in. And on the other hand, if you think it's ready to go or close enough, or you want to add to it, please do it. And I think we should get that out quickly.
I agree.
Oh, and then one last piece of that, which is that even what I'm not clear on is what the audience is of the blog. Like, is this mixed in with everything else? Is this space to ourselves? Are there ways for people to subscribe specifically to these posts? And more importantly, how do we use the great collection of people that join these calls, are in the Slack room, like channel? How do we amplify what we're talking about to bring awareness to it? So I think that's a challenge as we try to get momentum around the blog.
I have a brief question.
William, I'll add a link. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, thank you, Marsh. Appreciate your diligence on this. Is this anybody can contribute to the blog, or do we submit it as a GET request or just email somebody? What's the process?
It's pull request based.
Pull request. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I know how to
There
do
is some
that.
guidance. I'll drop a link in the chat to the guidance too.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I've got some good content, but I want to stay on message.
Yeah. The rule of thumb is basically this is about community things. So if it's community driven, and it's even to the point where you can disagree with something that the working group has written formally, as long as you call attention to the disagreement and why you have a different experience.
Yeah,
so this isn't a cult. This is meant to be a sharing of opinions, and the disagreements are what's going to help us drive a version 2 of some of the things that we've released, right? Those are going to be the evolutions that we learn about. So
objective disagreements with some reasoning, sure, that helps us all.
Yep, exactly. Cool. So just to kind of put a pin in the KubeCon chat, there is a question here of what did I miss? I know it can feel very FOMO-esque when you're not able to make a big event like that. Is there anything that either someone who didn't attend has a more kind of specific question to ask, or someone who did attend that feels like there's something they want to share in regards to that question?
I'm just sad I missed out, but you know.
Yeah.
Apparently, the big thing that everyone missed out on was AI. AI this, AI that. There was a lot of AI.
I don't really need that, but okay.
We're not getting enough AI on our daily diet, that's for sure.
You don't need platforms if you have AI.
No, I do think one relevant piece of that was they did release the AI, I guess the AI working group did release a white paper. And there's a lot of really good platform language in there as well that I think we can probably glean from. And I like some of their visualizations and stuff as well. So go look up that AI working group platform white paper.
Additionally, related to our work here, Antoine already put it, I think, yesterday into our Slack channel. On the platform engineering day, there was a fantastic talk around, well, there were a couple of fantastic talks, including Abby and Colin presenting our group here. But additionally, I think our platform maturity model got some really nice, fame and a very nice format. If I'm right, it was Nikki Watt, right? She did a very good talk about that. It's already online. And as I said, Antoine put it in our working group platform channel. Can just recommend that.
And that's what I think Marsh is trying to get more attention to through this blog. So this is exactly anybody who feels they want to write a short, punchy, this is why this talk is great, for any of the talks that relate to app delivery in general, and obviously platforms in specific. These are great ways to sort of amplify the voices of the speakers. So Marsh is taking the lead on this first one, but there are tons more of good ones that I think you can pick up if anyone has an interest in that. So yeah, great point, Dominic. Thanks.
Yeah, but could it be more than just a blog? Because I would like the fact that because the website itself is the entry point, you maybe don't go to the blog, but if you go to the white paper, the platform maturity model, if you have on top the video itself that simplifies the reading, I think it's more than just a blog post that could be useful to the community.
That's a very good point, Antoine. I wonder if there's a way for us to sort of tag these blogs so that they show up next to the things they relate to. So if this is like a blog about a use case of the maturity model, we can get that sort of popped up at the top of the maturity model page to be like additional resources or something. And that way we sort of have the multiple entry points, right? We can post the blog separately, which might be the right format for some people. And it can also be a added resource for people who stumble into the maturity model directly and maybe could use the benefit of those resources. Let's get that posted somewhere, I think. Action.
And just to volunteer, I have more than a few LinkedIn contacts. So if you want me to repost a link, I'm delighted to do that. That extends your reach by a lot.
Yeah. And that's true for everybody. I think thank you for that. And I think similarly, as you're posting the blogs, we've got some LinkedIn's and things that we'll definitely want to share, and just that's how we pick people up. It's very like organic, which is why we're so busy directly following KubeCons. And like, yeah, that's great. Thank you, Hubert. In regards to okay, awesome. All right, so then I think so we're at 40, we have an hour. I think if we could spend our biggest piece of work right now is on the platforms as a product work. I realize this is a little bit more condensed time than we usually spend trying to talk about this because KubeCon always creates a lot of buzz. But Michael, Dominic, David, I think you three are leading a lot of this charge. If there's anything that you feel like you can share about the progress we made at KubeCon of getting people to interview, or what the next steps are that you see. There's lots of new faces who are interested in getting involved. So how can they get involved with this work? Where are we at?
Yeah. David, is there anything you want to, or Dominic, say about the...
Oh, we got a lot of I'll just say that we got a ton of interest at KubeCon. I think within a 5-minute period, like over 30 people signed up after during platform day, the QR code was flashed up. So it was pretty effective at, getting us a lot of leads on people to interview, including there was one of the speakers or one of the people who was participating actually also expressed interest in just working with the working group. So we got all kinds of involvement.
Additionally, from our platform coffee, we definitely have learned that our assumptions on the entry level understanding of what product thinking in not just the platform field, but in general might be, not that true. So we want to revisit that with a couple of blog posts, starting with just one, focusing on one core topic of talk to your customers, also when you have a platform, and then see what the feedback on that is, just to have, some blog series, not talking about series yet, but at least one blog where we can point to and just say, here's the basics, and there's the research going in depth. That's the two big, I think, outcomes out of KubeCon. And yeah, Michael.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to post this out under the data collection issue after this call. But essentially, we need enough process to make this work in an open source kind of way. It's the first time I think most of us are doing research in this kind of way. So I wanted to get people's feedback on what this process might look like. I'll give you kind of the overview where there are places where a small group of people need to manage certain activities, in part to be GDPR compliant. So, a lot of people don't get eyes on emails and people's private data. One of those things is simply just a logistics thing where people have their personal networks that they want to go and interview. There's the CNCF end user group. There are a lot of places where this can happen, and a lot of people who have put up their hand to be a lead interview or like a second kind of co-lead note taker. That's a place where leads are going to just manage that process to make sure there's no duplication and redundancy of who's going after whom and with whom, anyway. And then the other part is just controlling the version of the script that's going to be used consistently for that round in GitHub, and the interview guide that everybody can draw on to just brush up on kind of interview best practices, how to lead them, how to ask follow-up questions, when to do it, how not to ask leading questions, and just general protocol around that to kind of level set everybody. And then there is, the mandatory kind of blurbs that are going to go out whenever you communicate with anybody, which is the purpose of the research, how we're going to use the data. And then the big thing here is, a lot of that is going to be on individual interview pairs to go out, conduct this research, then anonymize them. So they're the only ones looking at who did I talk to, what company. They strip that out. So the only thing we're getting after is industry, title, size of company, things where we can kind of place them after the fact. And that anonymized transcript, which the interviewer pair will own, is going to go into as yet undefined place of storage where leads are going to control that. So another place where only a handful of people are going to kind of guide it. And then from there, it gives us, once again, the opportunity for anybody who wants to work on synthesis to work around those anonymized scripts. This process is kind of built around the assumption that we're not going to get a fun kind of synthesis UX tool to work with, and it might have to be kind of a manual process. So, how we're going to distribute those scripts amongst researchers who are interested in going through those transcripts, teasing out themes, right? Pulling out blurbs that are really reflective of the themes that emerge. So then we can coordinate that on the back end. Any immediate thoughts? Anyway, I'll post this out with.
What are you, so when you say immediate thoughts, what is it that you're hoping to gather right now? Is it like questions about how accessible this feels to people, if people, where people want, are you looking for volunteers? What is it that we can feedback?
Yes, good question. Anybody who has any experience in GDPR compliance stuff, raise your hand if there's immediate red flags. That's always a good one for this. And then, there's going to be a separate call out for people who want to interview or participate in the interview process outside of this. Yeah, the big thing here is just like any obvious red flags with process, any ways you see it not working.
I think it looks pretty good. I don't have anything that kind of sticks out as wrong is the wrong word, but I'm really interested in seeing how this pans out as soon as we start having some data and everything starts following this process.
Yeah, so we want to kind of start building the momentum on this again, kind of slow down leading into KubeCon. Coming out of it, we want to, now that there's more focus on it, to kind of move along. So we're going to start, amongst the leads pairing off and running interviews already, just to start building the momentum and showing the rest of the community that are interested. They're like, hey, this is already in process. So join in whenever you want. And the big thing is just going to be around, there's a certain sequence of when we run into problems. The first thing is just like managing these lists of interested interviewers. So yeah.
One other question we had is, we've collected a bunch of email addresses. How do we properly communicate with people who have registered their interest? Like, is there some form of like CNCF email alias we can use to contact them? Like, that's another thing that's kind of unclear. What contact should be coming from where, basically?
CNCF do have tools for newsletters and mass send out. I'm not sure like the practicalities around that. how easy that is to use for something like this. But I think that's something we could ask someone, someone that knows more.
Yeah,
Right, Abby?
that's one for the tag probably level as well. I think that one note that I made and tagged you in, Robert, sorry, you're already doing your tech lead thing, is that I think when we talk about a smaller group of humans due to like privacy issues, that's very important, but continuity is also very important. So making sure there's at least somebody who's in sort of tag leadership who's in there just for, look, life happens. Everyone in this call will get busy for weeks on end or need family time or whatever. And so making sure that we have sort of access to things that people are doing in a more private space is important. So I think for right now, Robert possibly is the person to tag into those things as the tech lead. But at least somebody who's in the leadership team would be important, or maybe more than one. As for sending you the emails, I think we need to talk to the CNCF, see if they have, as Robert said, there's definitely tools out there for mass mailers. Do they have a Google group email situation where you can have like a shared email address across a few different logins? I'm not sure, so we'll have to ask that. So
I'm pretty sure in some other context, before this became the platforms working group, when it was the cooperative delivery working group, we were talking about this, and CNCF do have some sort of tool to mass send out things that is GDPR compliant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The things that sends out even emails for you to, for everything CNCF related. We could use the same tool. I just don't know the process of like, these are the people you want to send to, and this is the message, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure about that part. So that's something we will have to trace down.
cool. Yeah, we will. So giving us a sense, platform as a product team, giving us a sense of timelines on this, of when we would be a blocker to your success would be valuable, because it's going to be a lot of async asks, but we can at least be tracking that down and prioritizing that accordingly. So
Right, it's a good call out. I'm going to add those notes to the issue, but since we're going to be going to network in the beginning, I don't see it as an immediate blocker. We're going to be reaching out to people we know that could last for some time. So
And the one of the things we could do is, once we figure out how to send, we could work to get people to register for the Slack and then handle all communication on there.
Yeah, it'll make life easier.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's a world where we should be creating a Slack channel per interview with getting the right people in it or whatever, right? We'll figure out from there. So okay, cool. As long as we're not blocking you, but please do be as clear as you can with us on what you need and when you might be blocked, because we don't want that to be an issue. And obviously can't guarantee, but we'll do our best to stay one step ahead of you where we can. So
sounds good.
Cool. All right, so for all of our new joiners, a lot of you are end user companies. If you have an interest in participating in the interview, that'd be great. Becoming a participant would enable you to understand a bit more about it and hopefully jump into being an interviewer yourself if you're interested, or being involved in some of the output research. So yeah, lots of angles there, and you've heard the voices of the humans you should reach out to if that's something that's interesting to you. So in the last few minutes, it's worth calling out a few other things that are ongoing. So I'm going to jump down to the really concrete things, which are the pull requests. So we've got the open Japanese translation of the glossary. If anyone has any colleagues or friends who can help with that translation, we require that a second native speaker, or at least fluent speaker, reviews all translations in order to make sure that it feels good to someone else who speaks that language. So the PR looks great from a technical point of view, and now we're just holding off for one more fluent speaker. So help there if you can. And then the second one is more generically, we are really excited to have now 4 translations with 2 more on the horizon, which is really exciting. But with that comes maintenance. So for each translation, right now they're held in different directories. And those directories, if they don't hold a copy of the website in them, or of a page in the website in them, it kind of fails for that language in a not very pretty way. So as we introduce new blog posts or new content pages, we have to make sure to put the English version in each of the sub-language directories, and then hopefully somehow alert people who are happy to do translations that there's a new page that they may or may not prioritize to translate. This is right now based purely on memory of the reviewers, and we have an awesome PR to try and create a GitHub action that will alert on a pull request. So the idea here is not to force all new content to be translated into 6 languages before it can be merged, but instead to bring awareness to the original creator that they can make those copies across the directories, and bring awareness to the many translators in our network that there's this new page available. And so if anyone has experience with this or with GitHub Actions in general and would like to do a code review on that for effectiveness and quality and all of that, more than welcome to jump on board there. And we're going to try and expand our suite of GitHub Actions to support the workflow of pull requests in GitHub. So anybody who is interested in those kinds of pieces of work, do shout, and I'm sure we have some more that you can get involved with as well. So any other pull request, any other questions on those pull requests, or any other pull requests people want to call attention to that I missed?
Do we have a ticket to track the like GitHub Actions efforts?
Yes. So the specific GitHub action for the I-18 and so the internationalization has an issue of 537. And in there, I think is where we expanded to call attention to the desire for more. I will look for it, but if not, I will look to make an issue associated with it. It came up in Slack basically. It might be this one. 5. Nope, that's pull request. I will look for it. There's basically a suggestion to use some tools to help us with that process, with the process of the workflow of changes and of ideas, and we settled on using GitHub Actions as a shared tool for that. But I'm not sure we have a good issue for that. So good question, Dominic. I will see if I can get one created and visible. Good question. Any other questions or ideas?
Yeah, I pasted on the chat the issue number 574.
Awesome. Yep.
Yep.
Add that into there. So
Sorry, I pasted again.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough. One for the sending out a message, and then the other one for introducing a GitHub action to improve the internationalization workflow. That's the 537.
Yeah.
So there's 2. That should be good enough.
Cool. Got a question on when is the next coffee? So is David still on the call? People keep moving. David, do you want to make a plug for the coffees you help organize?
Sure. There's a the platformengineering.org has a platform coffee channel. I've been actually considering like cross-posting it because other places I've been involved with, like it's very sort of linked to the channel, but I think it's more the discussion. I'm getting about 4 or 5 people to come, and it's on Wednesdays and Thursdays, alternating weeks. And yeah, it's I'll put something in the channel here. There's one coming up tomorrow. I'll put in the time and calendar info.
You ask, we deliver, but no croissants this time, Antoine. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you have your own croissants, but
Ah, yes.
BYOC.
Definitely. Cool. So with like 2 minutes to go, I guess the last thing I'd call attention to is the other discussions and feature blogs under the please take a look section. So there's the blog we spoke about that Marsh wrote. Our goal on blogs in general is to get moving quickly and get them posted. If people are have a differing opinion, that just means another blog post gets to get written. So as long as it meets our code of conduct, like we want to try and get things posted, which is hopefully going to unblock you all. So we'll try and aim for that in the next couple days, Marsh. And then the first 2 points in that bullet list around the schema discussion and the platform of platforms. Colin, I don't know if you want to make a plug for platform of platforms. I think that was something you were interested in pushing on.
Yeah, platform of platforms. If anybody feels like taking a look at the post there on the GitHub issues, right, wrong time, wrong pipe. There's I'm really interested in the concept of or expanding the patterns and the ways that we communicate, but expanding the patterns beyond the idea of this like one platform to rule them all. The reality is in many organizations, there's going to be a number of multiple platforms, maybe, and they serve different purposes, but the idea of the platform for me holistically is to provide and develop the patterns for what a platform means to us and our organization. And maybe there is one overall platform that orchestrates the others, but there's another embedded concept in there, which the GitHub issue really is more focused on, which is this idea of how do I properly communicate the interaction between multiple applications or platforms at the platform level. So if I'm shipping a platform and it happens to be able to leverage an existing Prometheus or something, what does that look like? If I'm compatible with multiple message buses and there's already one existing in your platform, how do I use that? What does that look like? And what are the communication standards to drive that interoperability? And in some cases, these platforms require you to bring your own something. And it might not be storage, it might be something a little bit more nuanced. So how do we even communicate that? And when we help people build and adopt these things, we find all the time that it's really difficult to glean from product requirements what it actually requires, because everyone thinks that their platform will be the end all be all platform that somebody will need. The reality is that needs to run somewhere and it needs to be cooperative and compatible with the other tools that are there. So that's really what I'm interested in. If you take a look at the GitHub issue there, and I'm trying to buy time to pull up the number of the issue. If anyone has
542.
Perfect.
542.
Yeah,
I think this is a really good example of where we're going to start with a blog post, but it could likely move into more formal work. I think this is the type of thing that will likely influence a version 2 of the white paper, based on the things like this, right? It won't itself be the version 2. It doesn't need to be that formal, but getting early alignment on a blog and seeing the feedback from that blog will help us understand if that's in the direction we need to move. So just as another example of that. So
yeah,
and Colin, you picked up Marsh along the way. So we are now 2 minutes over. So I'm gonna call it for today. But this is really exciting to see so many new faces. It's a lot of outbound information today, especially because of the nature of so many new faces. So if you're here and you're still confused about how to get involved in a project within the working group, please reach out in the group channel as your first port of call. But if you'd prefer to go directly, all of the friendly faces you've seen here today would be people that I'm sure would be welcome to a DM. And myself, Robert, and Colin would be good ports of call for general working group things. So Thank you all. I hope you all have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Welcome.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.